Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it is Saturday. Saturday is, of course, Speed Duel format. So, one of the decks I've been wanting um, to really build for this format was Clowns. Now, recently, like in the last couple of weeks, we have done some Time Wizard progression with my boy Time Wizard. And one of the things that we came across was once we hit Treasure format was like really the first iteration. It wasn't the best iteration, but it's one of the first iterations of clown control in the history of the Yu-Gi-Oh game. And so I felt that it was only fitting that since we really do have enough cards as of the moment to fully build a variant of this, I figured we should do it. So real quick before we get into it, like a heads up. If you guys are still looking to win one of our giveaway skills, tune in on Sundays. That's when we announce winners. And again, you just get back to us with the email after the announcement, and then we send you a skill card signed. We'll send you a list of what to pick from based on what we still have, and that's that. So, deck list time. We're going to start with a skill. And again, this is one of those moments where, like with Gravekeepers, like I felt like the deck was just so solid, even at 20 cards, even with a 4-card opening hand. The skill wasn't super necessary. This is another one of those decks. So that said, we are going to be using Artea Gardner Battle City Bestie. This is just one of those good generically used skills. Apply the following skills. You take no battle damage during your own turn, and once per turn during the end phase, if your opponent activated a card or effect during his turn, you get to draw a card. So every turn it keeps going, you can keep getting more and more advantage. Plus, it's good to not take recoil damage, which is awesome. So, Battle City Bestie for the win, right? Now, Clown Control, Speed Duel, 20-card main deck, 6-card extra, 6-card side. Let's go. First card you're going to need, 2 copies, Crass Clown. We got these in the second GX set. So again, if you've been collecting the boxes for a minute, you've got these. If this defense position card is changed to attack mode, you get to target a monster on the opponent's side of the field and return target to hand. So again, very disruptive. And since this one is going to attack mode, you are going to be able to attack for that 1350 plus the removal of a body, which is good. Conversely, you're going to use 2 copies Dream Clown. Same set, got it at the same time. Dream is 12 by 9 instead. And when this one goes from face-up attack to face-up defense position, target a monster that the opponent controls and destroy the target. So again, they work as opposites. It's best once you have them in pairs. It is important to note that between these 2 cards, they are both, one is dark, one is earth attribute. So to that, and to the credit of it, we're going to use some Giant Rats, 2 copies. This will help us get into Dream Clown. 2 allows us to deck thin. 2 also allows us to basically end on the Clown, so that when we do begin our turn, we can move that thing to defense mode, and then the Clown's effects are going to start immediately. Conversely, we're going to use 2 copies of Mystic Tomato, and we're going to use Mystic Tomato in order to get the Crass Clown the same way. Again, we just got this with the Battle City Finals box. So again, a little bit of a newer card to the form, makes things go off just a little bit better, makes both of our clowns searchable this way. This is the good stuff. Another not so, I mean, it wasn't meant to be searchable, but another good target that one could do for the Mystic Tomato, and it does lead into later plays. We're going to utilize 2 copies of the Mask of Darkness. So for those of you who maybe haven't been following the Time Wizard progression, maybe you're not too familiar with older school flip effects. This one allows you to, very much in the same way that Magician of Faith flips and retrieves you a spell, the Mask of Darkness will retrieve you any trap card out of the discard pile, add that back to your hand, and then of course you can set it, you can do whatever you want with it. So again, Mask of Darkness, super good in this deck, and again, this pairs off well with a couple of the spells that we have. Well, one of the spells that we have. So again, it's very good synergistically. We can search it off the tomato. It's not the main play. Going into the spells, we're finally going to touch some of the limitations. We're going to tap the 3 list by adding 1 Cosmic Cyclone. Again, just a little bit of back row takeout. We're going to take the ones, one out of the singles. We're going to use the MST because, again, it's basically Cosmic Cyclone, just faster and destroys instead of banishes. And then my favorite spell for right now, 3 copies of Sol and Luna. Now, Sol and Luna is my tactic with my mask. But real quick, let's just read this, okay? So again, target a monster that you control and one that your opponent controls. Apply the following effect on each monster depending on its battle position. If the monster is face up, change it to face down defense position. This is great for resetting your Mask of Darkness. It's also really good if you don't want to take battle damage from like a Mystic Tomato or something. Additionally, you can go to face down. If the monster was face down, you would change it to face up defense, which could, of course, force the flip of a card, such as the Mask of Darkness. Generally, we're going to be setting 2 monsters, ours and our opponent's. And again, it's just another way to like just negate out an attack real quick, reload an effect, and then try to reuse our traps. Because our traps are really where the power is for this deck. And we're going to start that off with 2 Quaking Mirror Force. Again, it's very hard to beat down these smaller monsters if your monsters can physically not move out of face-down defense. So the way this works, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all of their monsters that are in attack position to face-down defense, and the monsters changed to face-down defense with this card's effect may not change their battle positions. Now, obviously, this is not including non-manual changes, such as the Sol and Luna. Book of Tayo would be able to work here. And of course, they could be tributed out. So there are ways around this, but it is a very good, effective way of stunning. And again, we can recur this with the Mask of Darkness, so 2's fine. And then the big money the big money card here is going to be the Zero Gravity. This is going to allow us to change the battle positions of all face-up monster cards on the field. This is the crazy cool tech. This is the one we want to reuse a bunch. The reason being, if the clowns are in attack mode, they move to defense, at which point Dream Clown does his job. If they're in defense and they move to attack mode, like Crass Clown, they do their job. If Dream Clown's in attack mode while Crass Clown's in defense mode, they both do their job because everything changes. It's both sides of the field. And also, this is a fantastic way of just absolutely stunning. Because again, when an opponent is going to strike at you, generally they are not anticipating to leave one of their attackers in defense mode just for you to activate Zero Gravity so that they can continue their offensive. At which point they're basically going to put all of their monsters in attack mode and go for it. Which means all of them will cease to attack. And then again, we can either resolve effects or set up to start resolving effects on the clowns. So just real quick, here's the main deck. Give it a look over, screenshot, pause, notes, whatever you guys want to do. Give me a second and I will go ahead and change this into the next portion of the video. Ready? Go. So obviously we are going to be starting with the side deck. Now, the side deck's interesting because I get another couple of cards off the 3s. So we are going to use 3 different cards from there. Well, not 3 different cards, but we're going to use full copies. The first one we're going to use is the Neospatian Grand Mole. This guy's an excellent side deck tech. Works against just about every deck out there. And is searchable off of our Giant Rats from the main. The way this works, start of the damage step, if this card would battle an opponent's monster, you could bounce both. Bounce them both. He gives 0 cares, my friends. He's excellent. There's a reason they put him to the 3s. To round out the rest of the 3s, we do pack a second Cyclone for a 3rd card for back row destruction, removal, back row hate, whatever you want to call it. Another wildly cool tech card for this deck is Earthquake. It's just a normal play spell card. We've had this one for, since like the first GX box. It's doing good stuff. It changes all face-up monsters on the field to face-up defense position. And again, this will allow the Crass Clown to get into defense mode so that we can manually move it into attack mode. So we can resolve both of these effects all in the same move. We can get that, play the spell and then move it manually, gaining the effect. This will also allow us to just immediately resolve Dream Clown while being able to put it back into attack mode, maybe attack into something. And of course, if we have Zero Gravity already set, like we just continue rolling with these punches and doing some really cool tech stuff. And then last but not least, because I love to have an extra deck that actually works, I'm going to play 2 copies Waking the Dragon. I don't really want to play anything out of the main deck off of this, but like obviously everything's eligible for it. I think the magic for Waking the Dragon comes in the fact of using some of the best cards in the game And again, like the only one that maybe has you price locked out right now should be the Arcana Knight. Again, it's the only one that was like truly pack locked. TI's Restrict was obviously a structure build. But if you guys were buying structure decks at the time while they were still releasing them individually and aside the booster sets, Thousand Eyes Restrict was very obtainable. You would have your playset. You would have had it for like, I don't know, $30. These are not worth all that much. You can just go online and pick these up like TCG Player, a couple bucks. And again, Blue Eyes Ultimate, it's great to see him in common. It's great to see him in common for this format. Because again, it's just, he was the biggest card. If you didn't have that, it was like a lot of Master of Oz, 4,200 instead of going all the way up to the 4,500. Again, if you guys don't have a TI's Restrict, you guys probably do have a Super Vehicle Stealth Union. You're just not going to get as many crazy effects because when he does equip himself, all he does is get the ability to attack all of your opponent's monsters once each, which is good because, I mean, again, Battle City Bestie, we're not going to take any damage from any of those attacks. It can inflict piercing if it attacks the defense mon, but it is going to lose half of its original attack when it starts doing those attacks. So he's going to downgrade to 18. And again, Restrict could be up to, you know, whatever the opponent had on their side of the field, which is, again, up to the 4,500 of a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So again, fantastic. This is the deck. I do hope that you guys enjoy this. If you do, consider supporting the channel. It's easy. Like, comment, sub. Easiest, freest things to do. If you guys think that we went a little bit above and beyond this time, may I consider, you know, supporting us a little more directly. The Buy Me a Coffee will always be in the description down below. And like I said, we will be announcing our next winner for the skill card giveaway. And again, like I said, we'll announce it tomorrow. Get back to us through email. We'll go ahead. We'll get your mailing information. We'll get you a list of the skills that we have available for you to choose from. We'll sign it. We'll mail it. No, I do not care if you live in the United States or not. Just because that's where I'm at doesn't mean that I won't send it to you. I just want you guys to enjoy. I want you guys to have a fun time. I hope that you guys had a great week. And just go take care of yourselves, okay? If you don't do any of the other stuff, just do that. Take care of yourself because you're worth it. And yeah, that's it. Have a good one. See you later.